Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Invictus Racing League IRL F1 Division, and it's time for the next round of our championship. My name is Webbo. I'll be your league commentator tonight, but joining me in the comms box, as ever, we find a lesser-known Lightning. Hey, Lightning.
Hello, everyone.
Great to have you here. Yeah, absolutely.
You.
We're looking forward to this one. I know you've been unable to wait properly for this race tonight, and we're going to enjoy another race out there, this time in the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. And a reminder and a thank you to our partners and sponsors that make this evening's racing possible: GT Omega Driver 61, Nelka Hall, Hotel, Golf and Country Club, and gridfinder.com. But Lightning, you've been looking at some of the times, and we've also got some newbies joining us tonight.
I certainly have, and I can confidently say it's one of the most competitive we've had all season. But one thing hasn't changed, and that's Daniele on top once again with a 1 minute 9.5, 70th in the world, so that's pretty impressive. Followed by, I believe, Stinson with a 1 minute 9.7. And then Kimi also with a 1 minute 9.7, just a few milliseconds off Stinson. Then lower down the order we have Max with a 1 minute 10.0, and we have I think Reshka and Rimac. Was it Rimac, I believe, with a 1 minute 10.5. But our top guys, I'm confident, will be very, very close. It's very difficult to get a perfect lap around this track, especially with overheating. So if they can get anywhere near their time trial times, I'd be quite impressed.
Absolutely. Also, it's a short track, so the differences between drivers will be very, very small. And also, there's a high risk of traffic. Now, last week's winner, Stinson, turns up at the Netherlands, obviously in super hot form, and one of the three home drivers we have driving with us tonight from the regular season. Anyway, we'll get their country flags shortly for you after qualifying, so we'll see exactly how many Dutchies we've got racing for us tonight. But leading our championship is Daniele Musso with 4 wins and 2 third places and at 84 points in total, from Max, who has 63. No wins yet for Max, but he's getting there. I'm sure it's only a matter of time. Foxy has won once and got 1 second place and has 58 points. Then we have Speed Queen in 4th, Acosta in 5th. Speed Queen also yet to win a race, but is driving more consistently than Acosta, who has 2 wins to his name. Then Livingwall, Burmeister, and I see Abby's here supporting Burmeister already, as usual. Then in the Constructors' Championship, Alfa Romeo lead the way with Burmeister and Daniele Musso contributing 116 points between them, followed by McLaren on 82, Alpine on 75, and Mercedes on 64, just 4 ahead of the Red Bulls. And it's quite tight all the way between P2 and P7 in the Constructors' Championship. So we're looking forward to seeing how the drivers tackle this, how this tricky, sandy, low grip and roller coaster like circuit contributes to the current form of the drivers. I don't know, who are you expecting to see go well tonight, Lightning?
Currently I have quite a good feeling about Stinson personally, because just coming off a win, I think he's got some confidence behind him. He's very close to Musso in the championship, in the time trial leaderboards.
Yep.
And I just feel like the confidence from that win will give him that extra boost to try and get yet another good result.
I think that's a good shout. Definitely. I'm also looking at some of our newbies here. We've got Totsi, who I know is watching on the stream. Hopefully he'll have the presence of mind to mute us in the middle while he's actually driving. Tom Grow Prof, you and I know well as a very quick driver on his day. We've also got Bambino joining us for the first time tonight. Stinson is calling out some disrespect, Lightning. He's claiming a 109.6.
So I'm very sorry.
So there you go.
I did read a lot of names, and it's very likely I got it mixed up. I think that the 107 is Kimmy's, and 97 is Kimmy's, and 96 must be Simpson's. So even better then, even higher chances.
Nathan's out there first and is about halfway around the lap already. And Stinson also lets us know that we've got a dry evening ahead of us. So fairly straightforward in terms of the drivers' plans. It's what they've practiced for, Lightning.
It certainly is. I think the only driver to post a time in the wet that I could see was Kimmy, but he's not even racing.
No, Kimmy sadly not out here to battle for pole, but I think we will have our hands full with the drivers. Daniele, I don't know if he's lowering expectations a la Mercedes F1 team, but he's saying a top 5 for him will feel like a victory. But Nathan's about to start his lap. Lightning, you can take us through this fantastic track.
Oh, let me get on board with him. Going through turn 1, a little bit of oversteer, but makes it through without spinning, which is very easy to do. Through the amazing banking, very difficult to get the traction down here. Oh, and as you can see,
it's that difficult to get traction through the Hugenholtz turn. So you called it. I think we're going to have to switch out to a Red Bull. Is it Reshka out there? No, he's on an outlap. I think potentially Totsi. Let's try and see how he's doing, and we'll try another driver to start a proper flying lap shortly. But Totsi in his debut with us.
Up the hill, through the right-hander here, down, misses the apex. Don't want to do that because you'll go wide here, which makes the car rumble and go off track. Very difficult corner through here. You're probably about 105 degrees in the front right by now already, which is pretty crazy. Tyres up already screaming. And then you've got more twisty bits here. Also difficult to get the traction down. But he manages to put the power all right through the last corner. Well, this is the last corner, but it is flat out. Keep to the inside if you can for the shortest run. This is a banker lap, so not necessary. A 10.5 is very fast for a banker lap, to be honest.
Yeah, good performance. Out there at the moment is Tomgo Prof, who just invalidates into the turn 12-13 complex, whose name escapes me for a moment.
I wouldn't worry, I don't know any of the names. In fact, I don't even know the numbers.
Yeah, I had that name down and I've got it cleared up in my mind. Tomgo Prof a 15.7 invalidated time, but Reshka is doing a lap right now. I think, have we got Daniele out? No, he's sitting pretty in the pits and waiting for the rest of the drivers to scrub their times. 1:11.7, so relatively stable times at the moment, nothing dramatic. What about M. Doran?
Martin is on a lap at the moment as well. It's going up the hill.
Well, you follow him and I'll follow M. Doran through this sector of 49.8. Purple for him naturally. So the Aston Martin, I think a fairly new helmet design for M. Doran here. And the final corner is the Ari Liandike Corner. A 1:11.5 is his best time so far, his only time in fact. And how's that Martin doing, Lightning?
He's got a 49.3, I believe, through the second sector. So I'm not sure how good that is, but I guess we'll see as he's going.
It's about half a second faster than M. Doran was just going. So this could be down into the 110s. Oh, at a 1:11.0, so very close. Second place. Totsi debuting with us and having the fastest banker lap so far. Liam might be one to watch though. Let's watch with him and see how he gets on. We'll wait for Daniele to come out and try and do a track guide with you.
Through sector 2. Oh, little bit of a mistake to the final corner.
His teammate goes P3 of 1:11.189. And Liam betters that with a 1:10.903. So the Mercedes with some good early pace, and they've got their supporters here as well. Aaron Stone is here for Foxy. We know Foxy has lots of fans. Turn up to enjoy his races. and scream at him down the party chat, as we found out in the last race. No. For me, it's so much about what the engine note is doing, what you can hear the tyres doing. To have multiple people yelling at you, I just don't get it.
Personally, I like having one engineer, but 3 or 4 screaming, not so much.
Absolutely. Just looking for a driver attacking a lap. Bambino looking to finish off his first banker. It's not going to be quick. It's a 14.7 the first time out there, but he'll be better than anybody who makes a mistake and wipes themselves out of this early phase. So a time on the board is not to be sniffed at. Nathan, purple's the middle sector for him. Thankfully his engineers didn't have to take too long fixing that first little spin that he had, and he crosses the line with a P2, a 1:10.680, and that's pretty close at the front. And I'm very keen to see Daniele's lap lightning, so I'll keep an eye on whereabouts he is. Currently in the second sector. We'll see Stinson finish his lap. Just gets a small toe on the back of Liam.
Liam just crashed. That's why he's coming to the pits. In the wing.
Right, let's sit on board with Daniele and see what he's got under him tonight. A 1:10.5 is the target at the moment. If he can get anywhere near that, anywhere near his personal best, he'll get the pole easily with the current set of times on the board.
To turn 1, nice late braking.
You must know the name of turn 1.
Tarzan?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Will he do the same mistake as Nathan? Nope. Gets good traction out of there.
Car's looking quite loose through the exit of Hugenwaldt's bank corner there.
Yes, I definitely know that corner. Thankfully, he keeps it pretty stable through this fast right-hander, double right-hander. Another braking zone. Very tough, very understeery. Nathan just got disqualified, so that's lovely. Oh, and he's last, okay. Heading into another tough braking zone. Don't know whether you should go over that curve or miss it.
It's a really tricky sequence, those two corners. Yeah.
Oh, he just touched that inside curve. Sometimes it spins you, sometimes you perfect it. This time, he got it perfect. Going up to the line, what's he going to get? A 10-0. That is impressive.
The first lap in qualifying, that's a very, very nice time indeed. From Daniele, a 10.0, but we know he can get into the 9s. We know several of the drivers have got 9s in them in time trial conditions, but that doesn't necessarily translate to our qualifying session today. Might not be optimal conditions on track. It is dry, but we don't know the track temperatures, and the race setups, of course, will also complicate things.
Indeed. I think that Tom is just finishing his lap.
Yeah.
Debutant. Going up
Another
to the
driver
line now.
with race car number 95.
How many 95s do we have?
Well,
Musso.
It's a very popular number, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we have Musso and
Why?
Liam Neely, who's got 96. That's pretty close.
Speed Queen getting a purple middle sector, so hoping to get closer on terms with her teammate Tom Goprof here, with a new teammate Speed Queen.
Reshka 95.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's almost like people are fanboys of a certain cartoon series. 111.3 is Speed Queen on medium tyres. There she goes then, P10 on mediums. That's a handy time to put in on medium tyres. I don't know if she will continue to use the mediums today. Martin is 3.5 tenths faster than he's been before. That could see him finally join the 110 club. Crosses the line, and it's a 110.564 P3 for Martin. Beautiful stuff out there,
Stinson,
pushing hard.
what are you doing?
What's he done?
Come on, please just get a good lap to make my prediction come true. He's starting one now, I believe.
Okay, Burmeister about to start a lap. So where's Stinson? Is he first sector at the moment? Oh, okay.
Just behind.
Excellent stuff. So Burmeister from P9, Abby's favourite driver, A 1:11.287 is his top time so far, but the track will be improving now. Be cleaned up, and be good to try and get a good representative time in here. Drivers taking the middle or low road through the bank corners. No, find that in the game it just doesn't seem to have the same amount of grip as it seemed in real life on the high line, Lightning.
Yeah, the top line makes you understeer onto the paint and spin.
Yeah.
That was very wide by Burmeister.
It was.
Touching the gravel, not sure that's the fastest route, but it is interesting. Hooks up the left-hander reasonably well. Gets good traction, which is very difficult out of there.
He's over his time at the moment, nearly 2/10. So I'm just going to check in with Stinson, who's apparently 4 seconds faster than he's been before, but he needs a little bit more than that. He's got a purple middle sector, and that is a genuine purple now. We're into the second batch of laps. Stinson then using every inch of the final sector to try and reach the finish line as quickly as possible, and crosses the line of 10.314 right up there into P2, and that's a handy time. P2, he can now push very hard in his final attempt, Lightning.
Absolutely. Now that he's got a very good bank lap, he can just hell to leather for the last lap, push as much as possible. Doesn't matter if you crash, still got a good lap. And also it's a game, so you don't get hurt.
Very true, very true. Although people's pride and egos can take a pretty hefty injury, can't they? New pole.
Yes, they certainly can. New pole by Daniele.
The same guy, yeah.
New pole, same guy. By half a tenth, I believe.
Still hasn't dropped it into the 109s, which
So
is what
close.
we're hoping to see. Out there is Maggot and Tom about to start laps. Maggot first, I think. We haven't watched him recently. I think he might have missed a couple of races of late. So down into
Maggot
Tarzan.
has, yes.
Yeah. And the next sequence, turn 2 is nothing much. Turn 3 is a difficult lift and coast entry into turn 4, banked left-hander.
That was very clean through there. Perfect traction as well. Oh, he's 3/10 down on his time. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Really
possibly
right
into the
hand
10s now. On target for a 110 here, which will see him in the top 9.
Oh no.
Wow, he's wide
Very
through there.
wide and crashed, okay.
Good night to Maggot. There will be
That's a
no
shame.
more action coming from that car tonight. It is a shame. Tom
I mean, that
GoProf is
sector
on one.
That sector 1 was perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. And then, oh well. We have Tots in P3, very close to Stinson, our debutant in the Haas. We have 2 Haas cars. Wow. First race, I don't think we had any.
You should have joined me last night. We had a Haas 1-3 on the grid in my race last night.
Sorry. Yeah.
Maggot currently a 13th place, but with Doran Reshka and Matty behind him, able to run another lap, and around goes Tom GoProf. That very common error in the final corner. He's in the sandy grass on the infield. Lost an end plate. Thankfully didn't lose a wheel, which is very easily done. What about Max though? We haven't looked at Max tonight, and Max is in P5 already.
He reminds me of Pierre Gasly, does Max?
Yeah,
Always so
and I'm sure he'll appreciate that as well as
the
a
top
Frenchman
5.
himself. Yeah. What I did
Absolutely
object to on the F1 coverage over the weekend was that I think David Croft called Pierre Gasly the gas man.
Oh god, yeah.
which was horrendous.
Lately, commentators in real life have been going downhill. If you listen to MotoGP, all they do is have the name of a rider, and then they have an adjective that starts with the same letter as their last name.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, Mad Max takes to the track then, and is. No, he's definitely not mad. He's much more kind of moderate Max, I think.
magical.
But he invalidates sadly, and will not complete this lap
There's a race between Daniele and Stinson.
on the
Side by
outlap.
side. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Okay.
interesting.
So it's getting dicey between our championship leader and our most recent winner as Liam attacks the lap. He's got Stinson ahead of him on track. Stinson's now leaving a gap. So Liam will get his Sector 2 time on this straight just as they approach the heavy braking zone. And Daniele is right in the middle of the track. Liam's not going to take kindly to that. He's under his time so far. And Daniele is all about his next lap. And Liam might get a little tow, but it won't make up for that issue. Daniele a little bit blind in the mirrors today, and I fully expect Liam to send a report about that little bit of driving. Let's join Daniele though in his next bid for pole, though there will be question marks over that particular bit of driving. Unfortunately, one of the people you don't want to upset on track is one of the league coordinators who knows the stewards and all the reporting structures properly. 3,000ths faster goes Daniele. What about Stinson? Let's see him cross his sector beam. 500ths. So he's on target to make up some ground. Not enough so far. Go back to Daniele.
So close to invalidating. I'll keep an eye on Stinson.
Okay. If we could do split screen, we would for you. Daniele is now over his time, so he's not going to get pole out of this one. What about Stinson?
Made a few mistakes and he's backed off.
Oh, he's backed off.
I think he's going to go for another lap on this set of
Interesting stuff. Daniele's on 4 lap-old softs, it says here on the screen. That can't be right, surely.
No, surely not.
Martin is just beginning his lap in the Ferrari.
20% worn tyres. Okay, Stinson is going for another consecutive lap on this set, which is not going to be good for when he starts the race. Will he make it across the line? He has got 8 seconds. 5 seconds. I think he might just make it. Oh wow, that was close.
He didn't make it, Stinson.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
I thought he did.
He's got a checkered flag. He's got a checkered flag here.
Oh no.
Totsi's attacking a lap and he's under his time, but Totsi off the track, pushing harder than he needs, than his car would allow him to, and that's him out. So did Bambino, push too hard as well from P7 in the Haas. Martin is still going, he's still valid. No, he's not. He's bailed out of this one. Max though, Max could be on a bid here. He's a 10th.5 faster than he's been before. Getting through the final slow section. Now it's all about the right positioning on the track, avoiding the inside curb, using some of the outside, and then just anticipating the car movement as you go through the banking, stretching for the line. Then Max gets one place better. P4 for Max, a 10.433. I don't think you'll be unhappy with that one. Out there still is just M. Doran, I think, and he's heading into the pits. So it looks like our grid is going to be made up of Daniele from Stinson, Totsi, our debutant, very impressive to get up there in P3 on your first F1 appearance. Then Max and Martin 4th and 5th. Mercedes strangely down in 6th and 8th with Liam ahead of Foxy. Bambino separates them despite crashing out at the end of the session. Tomgo Prof, another debutant, is 10th, and then on free choice of tyres, the remaining 7 drivers looks like M. Doran, Burmeister, Reshka, Speed Queen, Maggot, Matty, and Nathan.
Nathan, I believe, had a 10.4, but somehow managed to go the wrong way and got disqualified to last.
Yes.
So, can we just appreciate how close it is between Liam and down to Tom? So that's very close.
Absolutely. 10.057 is Daniele, and then a quarter of a second back, Stinson, Totsi, Max, Martin, Liam, Bambino, Foxy, Livingwall, and Tomgo Prof. And then M. Doran, Burmeister, Reshka, Speed Queen, Maggot, Matty, and Nathan. So we've got Dutchies in 10th, 17th, and I think 2nd place, spread throughout the field. So a maximum opportunity to be in the right place at the right time come any caution periods for the home drivers tonight.
I am looking forward to this race a lot.
Stinson is campaigning for a 100 point deduction from Daniele in the chat. I think that might be a little bit wishful thinking.
Yeah, but might as well ask.
Yeah, as they say in the
knows?
north of England, shy Baines getting out. So.
I've never heard that ever. So
shy
that
Baines
just
getting out.
Just further proves that you're a nerd.
Shy Baines getting out is what they say.
No. Okay. Moving on. We have the long wait, as we're accustomed to. I think in the rules it says that you have to wait 2 minutes before you can ready up. So let's hope someone
lots of time for us to build the anticipation. Maybe go for a comfort break if you want to. If you're stuck where you are and you're happy, exit the live chat, press the like button, please. We're aiming to bust out of 25 likes tonight, if at all possible. And we won't bug you once we reach that level. So if we've got equal number of likes to live stream viewers, that's where we'll settle with that one. And let's try and beat our records, please, guys. If you're looking forward to this one and you've got friends involved in the race or anybody that enjoys it, make sure to share on socials, share the stream, and there's time to get everybody in. And if you want to, make sure you follow Invictus Racing League, any of our sponsors that are of interest to you, and you can follow me on Twitter at WebORed5, where I post all the races when I go live. Daniele's saying is confirming his tyres are at 20%.
Why did he go out on the same set 4 times?
I don't know.
That is completely ruined his race. He has
Martin
to do
asking how many people held back trying to get a P11.
That's a good point.
It's difficult to do, isn't it? It's a difficult.
Quite powerful here.
Yeah. So what are we looking at in terms of strategy, Lightning, tonight for optimal?
For the people outside the top 10, they can do a medium soft theoretically. People in the top 10, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have horrible tyre wear at the end. So I'm going to be expecting them to do a soft hards. Musso with 20% one softs, there's a chance that he won't even be able to do a soft hard. He might have to do a soft medium soft. But his pace would allow that, but it does depend on how fast Stinson is. We could see a hunt down with an extra stop, Stinson versus Musso. That'd be really awesome to see, just like we've had in real life a few times in Spain and France. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see the difference of strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see how the drivers tackle this one. I certainly am expecting to see that safety car come out tonight. See a few laps led by
Mylander.
By Bernd Mylander, yep.
Yeah, it's his land, eh?
It's true.
Don't mess with it.
I'm assuming anyway.
Oh, starts in 27 seconds.
Excellent stuff.
Yes. We have Burmeister. I think he is a Dutchie, so hopefully he can do well. I believe he's starting P11.
Yes, I think that's right. We've got the Dutchie at the back, Nathan, and a Dutchie near the front, Stinson. So, yes, the tricky turns 12 and 13 with the difficult braking zone after the back straight is called Hans Ernst. And I keep forgetting.
Yes,
so
I'm not going to remember
just looked it up.
Wait, turn 12?
12-13 is Hans Ernst, yeah.
Ah, okay.
I'm assuming he's a famous Dutchman. Daniele will lead us away then. We've got medium tyres for the slowest 7 cars, except for Reshka and Maggot. They've gone for softs. Nathan will start at the back, pay a watching brief, and hope to capitalise on other people's poor starts, I would imagine. He's on medium tyres with Matty back there as well with his teammate. Really poor qualifying from Williams tonight, 15th and 16th, but the points are for the race, so plenty of opportunity. 36 laps to make up for it. We've got Speed Queen in 14th. She's shown a fantastic run of form recently, been part of our podium interviews twice, recently, and I'm sure will not finish in 14th tonight. Reschke in 13th with Burmeister starting 12th, so we were slightly wrong there. Doran, first of the medium runners so far, with just Tom Goprof between him and his teammate Livingwall in 9th. Mercedes 6th and 8th, Foxy led by Liam with Bambino in the middle, and then Martin for Ferrari, the best qualifying team Ferrari today, 2nd and 5th. Max is the lone McLaren, and we've got Tozzi in the lead Haas, and of course Daniele Miso on pole. Just important for us to say that this is Invictus Racing League's F1 division, brought to you by Nailcut Hall, by Driver 61, GT Omega, and in partnership with gridfinder.com. And we're very glad to have everybody with us. Give us your predictions right now, otherwise you won't gain as much kudos from everybody if you do it after the start lights go out.
Foxy win.
Russell Jones, this Speed Queen mediums to soft one stopping. Good shout, maybe.
Yeah.
Try and get you a good starting camera angle as well. Daniele on the outside, Stenson on the inside. It's lights out and go, 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 with the cars away pretty nicely here. Tozzi getting perhaps closer to Stinson than he'd like. Takes the long, fast entry on the outside of Tarzan and gets ahead beautifully. Tozzi there into P2. Max is trying to get out of this Ferrari sandwich he finds himself in, and gets a good trip through Hugenholtz and away down at the back flat out non-straight section, and they go towards then the turn 9, sorry, the turn 8 Shivlak. What have you seen, Lightning? What's happening?
Maggot is out. He has no front left wheel. Huge crash. Speed Queen, I believe, spun. Not sure if there's an incident, and there's a virtual safety car, as you can see.
She's right down there, away off the field, and you say we lost Maggot straight away. So unfortunately, one of our drivers gone already, down to 16. Speed Queen right at the back on a good strategy, but not a good track position right now. Unfortunately, they were away well cleanly at the front, but yeah, not very comfortable around the back. All the gaps very close while we're under this virtual safety car, and we're waiting for the green light to wave. Rimac says Reschke podium. We'll see. Cars are just weaving down the straight to keep the tyres up to temperature. Remember that Daniele's tyres were 20% used when he started this race through qualifying. We go back to green flag racing, and Tozzi very close up here, and I'm not sure this was a part of Daniele's script tonight to have one of our debut drivers challenging him for the lead on lap 2. But he's got a good slipstream as they head through the S's down towards Shivlak. Tozzi staying with him, but he's going to scrub out with the aero wake behind Daniele's Alfa Romeo, and there you see down to half a second the gap, and now Stinson catching Tozzi, so struggling in the dirty air.
Has had a crash.
Oh wow.
At the top of the hill, so that is a bit of a shame.
He's out as well, so yeah, crushed out of the race. We're down to 2 Dutchies left in our Dutch Grand Prix, unfortunately. We were hoping to see a home victory tonight, or at least a home podium. Stinson's still in that position, 4 tenths back from Tozzi, who is 8 tenths. No, Tozzi spins out of the track. I think he's going to keep the car going, is he? He is just about. An unsafe return to racing, but given he was in the middle of the track, he was going to be unsafe anyway. He does not go into the pits because he presumably was too far past the line. A complete 360, possible 720 spin from Tozzi down to 14th, and perhaps just showing a little bit of a lack of patience when it comes to knowing when to charge hard. Daniele potentially saving tyres at this stage of the race, and unfortunately Tozzi just over-egging it and turning the car around in the final corner. Daniele now, his gap, 0.9 of a second before we hit the DRS zone. He'll be hoping to get that out to a second, and further down after Max comes Martin, Bambino, Foxy, Livingwall is close behind Foxy, and Liam is close behind him. So Livingwall finds himself caught between two Mercedes cars.
Meanwhile, Max has made up to third place.
Yep.
That's his podium. So Daniele sets a fast lap, and then followed by Stinson straight after. He is pushing. He wants this win, and he has better tyres, so he should have the pace advantage.
Looked like Stinson had good top speed down that start-finish straight, Lightning. It might have trimmed out a little bit of downforce relative to Daniele here.
Oh no, Maggot has left. Oh, that's because he retired. Yeah, usually the setup is 11-11 wings, maximum downforce, but maybe he's going for 10-10, just have a little bit of an advantage on those straights.
Maggot says, what a night to forget. Someone lost it in front of him and he had nowhere to go. Now that someone might have been Speed Queen.
Speed Queen was behind him. Maybe it was someone else and he just reacted to it, so that's very unfortunate.
We've got Big Bambino, who I've just been calling Bambino before this point, in P5. He's very close behind Martin's Ferrari, trying to make the best of this. And Doran is still the highest placed medium runner from the start, with Burmeister behind him. Then we've got Matty and Speed Queen having got past Tom Prof and Totsi. After Totsi's accident, Tom Prof I think did have an incident as well, and has dropped down a few places here. We come on out of Hugenholtz. Now they're going into Hugenholtz now with Big Bambino down towards the Shivlak corner. And it looks like Bambino's lost out slightly, with Foxy now tucked up behind him. Can Foxy do anything? It's very difficult to pass in the middle of this track, Lightning. There's really not very many opportunities.
There really aren't, but look at how much of a gap Daniele and Stinson already have.
Yeah. It's
then we have Max in no man's land, and the train from Martin to M Doran. But this pace is absolutely incredible from these two. Very consistent as well.
And time will tell whether that's Max being smart and consistent as usual and reserving his tyres, but possibly Daniele and Stinson pushing themselves too hard, or maybe this is their inherent pace. Bambino has a run on Martin. Martin goes to the outside. Bambino gets the fastest final sector and gets round the outside. Martin defends to the inside, but rubs the car up onto the inside curb, hits the pit wall, and it looks like Foxy's going to get by as well. Foxy gets through, and Martin turns round. Yeah, I think Martin just found himself completely the wrong part of the track, and lots of very greedy drivers around him who were taking any opportunity they can to make a pass. Martin found himself that old kind of touring car situation where you lose one place and then you lose 6 following because you're offline. But Livingwall P6 now, Foxy ahead of him, Liam behind him, Martin, Speed Queen, Totsi and Tom, the real casualties of this first 6th of the race. We're 6 laps into a 36 lap race so far. Liam has
Martin
a run
is
on
really
Livingwall.
Suffering
is he?
At the moment. His tyres have completely gone off because of that crash. I think he has rear wing damage.
Yeah.
He's oversteering all over the place. Speed Queen has just got past him. She's making a really good recovery, setting in really good laps to catch up.
Liam up the inside of Livingwall into the final corner, just got underneath him, and he'll be on the defensive, but he has DRS and manages to consolidate that position. But that was a pretty special move. I haven't seen many people dive down the inside of the final corner, the Ari Liandike Corner, in the dry conditions. Nice move from Liam.
That is a very good move, very interesting. You think that they just wait for the DRS to go to turn 1, but changing it up, very nice. As
long as you're behind at the detection point, which you must have been, it's a great chance to catch your rival unawares.
And it certainly seemed to work for him. Our last round's pole sitter had a very good race until unlucky timing safety car.
So how deep do you think into the race these soft runners are going to manage to get tonight?
I think Tots has just spun. Just thought I'd have to mention that.
Okay.
But soft tyres, I think a maximum 11, maybe 12 laps if you're very good at conserving. Daniele, I think you can only go to lap 8, 9. I think you might pit this lap or the next. But Tots is going to retire.
Stinson looking much better on the brakes into Tarzan. Didn't quite have
Liam
the
spun.
overspeed. Liam spins. No way.
That is such a shame.
It really is, because he's had such a great move moments ago, but perhaps just leaving it one lap too long to get into the pits. Oh, Totsi cannot recover this car. He's stranded around Hugenholtz, and he's going to become a in Hans Ernst. He's going to become a roadblock and get himself lapped very shortly if he can't recover back to racing pace. But Daniele leads from Stinson. Daniele should be on older, more worn tyres at this stage and may have to pit earlier.
Entirely sure what Tots is trying to do at this point. I think he's just given up and he's just doing spins for fun, because you've got overheated tyres. He's got about 125 degrees, but he just continues going flat out on the traction zones.
At what point is it better just to stay still and wait for your cards to cool down?
110 degrees and you have to just stop, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
he's gone into the pits now. He's made it in. He's going to get lapped from our two leaders as they scream into Tarzan for the 9th time. Max very much in his championship kind of position here, not quite with the overall pace lightning of Daniele and whoever happens to have a good track that week. Max, generally speaking, hovering around this 3rd place mark, but in a race of his own at the moment.
Absolutely. He's been doing very well, consistent, not getting attacked.
Yeah.
And
Totsi confirming rear wing damage, so hopefully he will continue, show his persistence, and see what kind of metal he's got. Okay.
And he's out. Okay. Commentator's curse. Maybe.
It was no curse. Yeah. At no point did I say.
M. Doran is out.
I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have this. M. Doran's out. Okay, fair enough. Let's have a look at M. Doran. Where is he on track? Got past here. There he is on the entry into turn 11, I think. Losing the car. Slightly unusual. Potentially spun on the way out of 10. But yeah, a commentator's curse in my view. Daniele pits. Stinson second, Max also in the pits. This will be the trigger point for every soft runner, I'm sure. But for me, a commentator's curse is when a commentator says something is definitely going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. Not a mere observation of what has already occurred.
I mean, you did define it. I'm pretty sure last race, and then you have just gone and done it.
Just paying a driver a compliment. It's not a curse. Reschke opted not to pit and to hold on to that track position. He's stayed in 3rd position. Now that's pretty unusual move. Difference in opinion on the tyres as well between our top two. Daniele going on to mediums and hoping to do 26 laps on them, and Stinson going straight to hards.
Well, we know who's going to have the advantage in the latter half, but maybe Daniele is thinking there's going to be another safety car or another opportunity.
It'd be a fairly safe bet at this point, but with fresh tyres, on hard tyres go P8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is Max, Foxy, Livingwall, Martin and Tom. But staying out, Bambino pitting onto mediums has got ahead of Max, it seems.
I'm not entirely sure what happened to Max.
No.
Could he have had damage or just been held up horrifically?
I imagine there was a possible nose change. I mean, what else could it be that he didn't have a penalty? The only penalty we have is Tom. So
yeah, I'll check the race director.
Yeah. I'll have a quick look, see if prior to the pit stop he was
no, only
reading a
Tots
penalty.
had a wing change, but yeah, Max just changed his tyres, that was it, and he just got held up.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have a penalty prior to the pit stop, so yeah. Strange situation. Don't quite know how Bambino managed to do it, unless Max had to wait for cars to pass him in the pit lane. that Bambino didn't have to suffer, given that the Haas would be further down the pit lane. He wouldn't be queuing it for anybody on their way into the pits, would he? So that could be it. Bambino, though, up to de facto third place at this point, with Matty in between him and Max. So Stefan says he did 23 laps on mediums in a session without them hitting 60%. So Daniele has the correct strategy. So maybe Daniele's done a little more homework than Stinson, or maybe Stinson's driving style just doesn't lend itself to that. He's just not comfortable driving mediums at 50 to 60%, and you can definitely understand that, Lightning. It's all about a driver's preference. Do you just want to rag the car and push hard the whole race through, in which case put the hards on? Safety car will come in this lap though.
And also the overheating. Mediums, they somehow on this track do overheat after about 10-ish laps. The hards, you can just push them as much as you want. Yeah.
So it's down to how a driver wants to approach the race. But you feel like Stinson might have a disadvantage in the next kind of third. The middle third of the race, he's going to struggle unless we do end up with another safety car, in which case he's still got to pass Daniele, come what may. We're waiting for Daniele to make his first move here, and hopefully only move. I don't want to see start-stop, because that's how we get catastrophic accidents. Daniele is still weaving. Stinson pulls up alongside. This time Reshka is alongside him, and of course that gives Daniele the point at which he can press the loud pedal, and away they go. Green flag racing, lap 12. But on the outside of Reshka comes Burmeister on the attack. Quiet first part of the race for Burmeister. Around the outside of Tarzan, gets a good traction zone, but he's got the outside through the next corner and sweeps around, and a beautiful move from Burmeister there, showing why Alfa Romeo are heading our championship. Bambino battling with Speed Queen, but holding her off around Hugenholtz, and likewise further back we've also got a battle between Foxy and Matty, and then Max will follow them around. The hard tyres, Lightning, are going to really struggle this first lap after the safety car.
Absolutely, you're going to struggle to put the temperature in them, especially at that slow speed right at the end. Livingwall, I think, had a spin there, which is a true shame, and he's got wing damage, so that makes it even worse. Thankfully, most drivers made it out clean and prepared to race now that they're not as close as before.
How long until the hard tyres are up to race temperature, you think?
I'd say the second, third lap they'll be competitive against each other, and then I think 15 laps in, it's gonna be the crossover where the hards have the advantage.
Reshka's got good drive out of the final corner. On the attack with Burmeister, who's now up to third place after that overtake. But Reshka trying to hold on here and somehow keeping these tyres alive.
Yeah, I'm not sure what strategy he opted for there. It's very interesting. Going to come out in last, but most likely on the mediums. But nevertheless, very interesting.
Daniele's pressed pedal to the metal, and he's got a 1.8 second gap already over Stinson, and that's just showing how difficult it is for Stinson to get the hard tyres up to temperature. But he'll hope that recovers itself later in the stint as Daniele's mediums start to die off.
Yeah, absolutely. He just has to keep composed, stay consistent, and make sure not to give up on the fight, because it's going to come into his hands at some point.
Yeah. Bambino, an impressive debut so far here. P5 at the moment. He's going to watch to see if Reshka can make a move once they get their DRS back again. Reshka's already tucked up behind Burmeister, who weaves to the inside. You can do one weave, but if you try and do another one, I think you're going to have to go and see the stewards afterwards.
Yeah, and if not by the game, then by the league. So
yes, indeed. Whoa, no, Bambino loses it in Hugenholtz. I think he's kept the car running. I don't think there's obvious damage, but unfortunately loses 2 places to Speed Queen and Foxy Red there.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. It's a very difficult traction zone, but he's kept it on track. That's what matters. No damage that we can see, as you said, and he can live to fight
Snap of
another day.
oversteer on the way out of turn 10, but he's got his DRS open. He's back on the attack. He's stuck in a bit of a DRS train though, as Reshka continues to stay very close behind Burmeister here. Burmeister's mediums shouldn't be in too bad a state. They shouldn't be too different to Reshka's softs. But Reshka with a great run here. 13, make that 14 laps on the soft tyre, and he makes an overtake on a medium tyre runner. He's driving amazingly, isn't he? Very good stuff. Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing it. Sadly, I think we had Matty spinning. So Livingwall chose the soft tyres after his spin.
Right.
So he's now on softs. So should be some faster laps coming from him.
Tell you who's not going quickly at the moment, Max. He's down there in 8th. He hasn't made a single place up since the restart, but he's waiting for the tyres to come in, and he's treating those hards pretty carefully. He knows there's a big batch of drivers ahead of him who will need to pit again, but Max needs to get a move on, really, because this race is moving away from him at this stage.
Yeah, it's such a shame that he got held up in the pits, but
yeah,
I thought they'd fix that, to be honest, but sadly not for Max.
I think it must have just been the queue coming in, you know, while he was waiting in his pit box. There'd be a queue of drivers piling into the pits behind him, who will all need to overtake him.
But he is close to this train from Reshka all the way down to him. So if he can stay within the DRS, close in the next few laps, then he should be alright. The advantage will come to him. Reshka, surely he's going to pit soon. It makes sense.
He might be trying to hang on for another safety car, and he's got pace over Burmeister behind him now. He's actually put a little bit of a gap on him as Speed Queen is on the attack as they go through the turn 5, 6, 7 flat out roller coaster through Shivlak at 8. Now Marlborough, as it probably isn't called anymore, turn 9. Turn 10 is a tricky late apex, and then a long radius, turn 11. And we head on a short straight with a DRS into Hans Ernst. Turn 12
it's almost impossible to make a move through there.
Yeah, but you can stay close, as Speed Queen has here. And as long as she can navigate turn 14 and the Ari Liandike final corner, she'll get a good run here. But Burmeister will also have DRS on the car ahead. Reshka pits, and they try to follow him in to get the best run possible. Speed Queen will have to do this on the brakes into Tarzan. They go into turn 1, they touch, and because she's at a lower elevation, an unsafe rejoin potentially from Speed Queen there as well. As she crosses the path of another driver. I know she's ghosted, but it's very off-putting for the other drivers. I think it's just the sheer geometry of the bank corner of turn 1 that sent Speed Queen round.
I'd have to say that's a racing incident. Nothing really Burmeister could do there.
No.
He left the room. Speed Queen just understeered into him a bit.
It did look like understeer, didn't it? Yeah, on the inside.
So nothing Burmeister could do there. Just unfortunate racing incident.
The lead Daniele has generated should offset any tyre drop-off later on. He's got a 6.3 second gap. No, they were so close but of course Daniele did have those extra worn softs, so the safety car coming at the most perfect time for him.
Yeah, it's completely different on the luck scale to last round, where he just missed the pits. And
exactly.
Now he's perfected the pits.
Yeah, Max is now got the car up to speed, and it's now time to push. He's up to P6. Burmeister looking like he's losing a place to Foxy into Tarzan. Foxy up to P3, and maybe Foxy's fans are going to be screaming at him in celebration right now. Burmeister on the low line through Hugenholtz, but Bambino coming back at him now, and it's just going to be a slipstreaming game here. It looks like possibly Burmeister using too much curb on the apex of turn 7, just seemed to unsettle the car. Bambino launched towards him, is now only 2/10 behind to go through this sequence of long radius corners.
Oh,
Matty
no,
has retired.
Is in the pits, so it's all right. But I understand why Burmeister hasn't got very much pace. It's because he's yet to stop.
Yeah.
So I thought he had a pit. I was extra confused as to why he was ahead of Max because of that.
That probably explains why Speed Queen struggled to hold on to her car as well. She's also on 17 lap old mediums.
Yeah.
And on the slightly dirtier approach to Tarzan, just didn't work out. DRS open for Bambino, as it is for Burmeister, but Bambino just about getting ahead enough to get underneath the car and get ahead through Tarzan. Bambino up to P4 now. Next one ahead of him is Foxy, who just got by Burmeister himself.
Matty's car might make a safety car. Oh no, it won't, because it actually exited the pits after retiring.
Oh no. Are you sure it wasn't just the Williams pit box right at the end?
No, he actually exited and went to turn 4 for some reason.
Well, Bambino is the closest car to another one on track at the moment, so we'll stay with these guys. We can't predict when someone will just completely lose the car and drop off the circuit, but we can try and focus on who's applying pressure. Behind them, Max and Burmeister. Max now on the attack behind Burmeister. Max would be dying for Burmeister to go into the pits, but Burmeister and Speed Queen probably now waiting for what, sort of 13, 14 laps to go to put softs on.
Yeah, I reckon that if you're Reshka, you could do it with now, because he went 16 laps, which is very impressive.
True, but the other drivers won't necessarily been watching Reshka's pit stop strategy.
I reckon they'll go to lap 23.
Okay.
So, a few more laps left for Max to hold on or try and overtake.
Yeah, he's really close behind Burmeister. Had a good run out of Hugenholtz, as has Bambino, but there's very little braking into Shivlak, if any, just a downshift. Probably a little bit of braking while there's still fuel in the car, but not enough to get an overlap, and no DRS to help either. That's that part of the track. Bambino now.
Oh, can you go for a move here where I said it wasn't possible? No, he backs off of it.
Yeah.
On the exact same level of DRS at the moment, so 60% for each of them. So no advantage there. Max has saved all of his batteries. He's got 90% currently.
Nice.
Very good. Tom, we haven't seen much of. I was expecting better, to be fair, but he is on this train.
Here comes Bambino with the DRS past Foxy Red Lightning. Sorry to interrupt you, but an overtake for the podium. Burmeister up 7 places at the moment, but he will drop down. Speed Queen up 5. Again, she will drop down. So nobody with a kind of stellar race so far in terms of places gained or lost. Apart from, of course, the drivers we've completely lost out of the race. Livingwall is down there in P11, just racing round, hoping someone retires. Really, he's not going to get points with that kind of a gap from his own efforts. I don't feel at this point.
Certainly not. But we can see the advantage that those mediums still have. Bambino's already pulled away by 8/10.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Yeah, completely agree. I'll tell you another really important point to note. We take it for granted here in Invictus F1, but one single penalty across the entire field so far tonight is quite special, I think.
Yeah, it just shows cleanliness and precision, which is nice to see.
Absolutely. I think it's just a 3-second, is it, for Tom? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Up in P7 at the moment.
Pretty sure he got it under safety car by accident. Accidentally drift off wide.
Yeah. Max is still making heavy work of getting past Burmeister. In fact, Tom is now catching this battle. So Max really can't afford to lose out to Tom here. He's going to have to take any opportunity he's got. Charlie says Foxy will pit in 3 laps. I don't know whether the reasoning that Fox that Fox's friends tend to give. I don't particularly want to point to it because I don't know A, if they're joking, or B, whether it's something that should be joked about anyway, but all the same, they say Foxy due in about 3 laps, which would put him about where you were predicting, lap 23, 24, 25, for a nice late race sprint.
Yeah, but maybe they're just predicting he bins it. Which is a bit cruel, but they know him better.
Burmeister finally pits, and that releases Max now, and we'll see if he's got pace in hand and has been keeping it in hand, ready for that pit stop from Burmeister, who comes out of the pits behind Speed Queen, who still hasn't pitted.
Beat very, very fast through into the pit lane, so
nice.
And no penalty, which makes it even better.
Well, Tom is just 0.2 of a second behind Max here, so whatever Max has been doing to reserve the car hasn't worked, or Tom's been doing more of it. Tom with a 3-second penalty, but wants to make up some more places.
Max just hasn't used any ERS. He's got 90% still.
Wow.
He should really be using it to get into Foxy's DRS, but
not too difficult a track to use the ERS around here.
Actually, it's very difficult to save it.
Yeah, right.
Because you're running 11 wings, it makes it even more difficult, because the higher wings you have, more downforce, and the less ERS you can save in the game. Not sure whether that's the same for real life.
Here comes Tom now. Max defends to the inside, doesn't quite leave a car width, but he had the overlap, and some good reactions from Tom to avoid an accident there. Had to open the steering and take a wider line into Tarzan. Max choosing his own line, not crowding another car out, but Tom almost crashed into the back of him as they approached Tarzan.
Close racing, thankfully no contact. You can see that Tom just sends the car through.
Yeah.
And compared to Max's driving, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Just smooth versus aggressive.
Definitely. We'll see if that pays off later on. Yeah. We'll see if Max's silky smooth skills manage to give him dividends later in the race, although I don't think we'll see a huge difference in tyre performance between the hards, because they can run and run around here.
Yeah, there's a yellow flag. I think Livingwall has had a crash. Nope, he's spun at the exit of turn 4. Very easy to do.
Car looks complete visually, at least. So front wing intact. We can't see floor damage, and I guess for sponsorship reasons we can't see rear wing damage either, despite the promises that were made in the pre-purchase.
So that's why they changed it.
I don't know. I may be a cynic, but
that is probably the reason. I had never really thought of it.
I can be too cynical at times.
Saudi Arabia.
I haven't tried it yet.
Mostly flat out.
Wow.
So
nice.
Very fun.
Well, Max, Tom have caught up to Foxy ahead now. Foxy 14 laps on the hards. Same for Max, same for Tom, same for Martin behind them, and for Stinson up there in P2, but he's 10 seconds, nearly 11 seconds behind Daniele on medium tyres. 10 laps to go now. It's a good time to be able to pit for the Speed Queen for some soft tyres. Any later than this, and you've got to wonder whether the overall race pace and race time is going to be affected. Max has got an opportunity here, but just as he did to Tom on the previous lap, Foxy just uses the middle of the road, and there's no way by there. Speed Queen finally pits on lap 26 for her first pit stop, and will drop down to P10. I don't think she'll fall behind Livingwall.
Reshka, currently P8, getting hunted down by Burmeister on those softs. So we can keep an eye on that. 3.8 seconds of gap currently.
Burmeister 4/10 off the fastest lap set by Daniele. and Speed Queen now has the opportunity to go for that fastest lap, so we'll perhaps keep an eye on her.
Max in the DRS. Foxy has managed to save more ERS than Max. He has got 70 and Max has got 60.
Well, how are our Dutch drivers doing at the moment? We've got Stinson in second place, a very consolidated second. I don't see anything happening from there. But Burmeister will have a late charge on soft tyres in P9. Unfortunately, we lost Nathan early on. You see Max struggling again. Foxy positioning the car just perfectly. Oh, a little bit of tyre rubbing. Max trying to get an overlap.
Oh no!
Doesn't quite make it. Oh, Bambino crashing out, and that has triggered a safety car. That's exactly the wrong time for cars that have just pitted. But potentially,
or is it the perfect time?
Potentially the leaders will choose to pit now, I wonder.
Because if they don't pit, then Burmeister and Speed Queen have a very big advantage.
Nothing to lose really for Daniele. He's got a 13-second gap and a 10-second gap back to third as well, added onto that. He could well pit now for soft tyres.
Absolutely, and this is saved Livingwall. He was about 3 laps away from getting lapped, which would have...
Well, yeah, Daniele can see him on the start-finish straight here.
Yeah. Oh, and Daniele pits.
Daniele does indeed.
Stinson pit.
Well,
it makes sense to.
It does. His tyres will reach the end, and you wonder though, he clearly hasn't got the pace to tackle Daniele. I wonder whether he might have been better staying out.
Well, I don't know. I mean, 10 laps, softs versus hards. You would have gotten swallowed up.
In come our next 3 drivers: Linus Stern, followed by Martin Reshka. What will he decide to do here? He goes in.
Have Daniele.
Here we do.
Simpson, 1 and 2 on those red soft tyres, just like we had at the start. Hopefully, it can be just as close.
And the leaders come out of the pits. Daniele's miles ahead of everybody. Burmeister getting by Martin. Speed Queen getting by Reshka, I think. Yep. So everybody on fresh softs, apart from Livingwall, who isn't really in the race at the moment. We'll wait for him to catch the tail of the field. But we're going to have on our hands a nice little 7-lap sprint, possibly 6 laps, depending on how long the safety car takes to come in.
I think 7. It'll be in after this next lap. It'll be on the end of lap 29.
Livingwall has pitted.
Either Max is the most unlucky driver ever, or this is pit stop glitch, because he's just lost a position to Tom in the pits.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense, because online it's a 2.5 second pit stop. Like, that's it for everybody to make it fair. So that's very confusing.
Even if other cars are passing you, and when you're waiting to rejoin.
If other cars are passing you in the pit lane, then it'll block you. But the AlphaTauri and the McLaren are 2 different pit boxes.
Well, when Max watches this back, I'd be interested to see his pit stops clips and see what happened. Stinson saying second time his strategy is ruined by the safety car, and he didn't use the word ruined. But well,
I don't know.
yes, I suppose so.
I don't think he could have done anything.
No, he can hardly claim a victory was taken from him, can he?
No, but he is reinvigorated from
yeah, if anything, it's brought everybody back.
Yeah. P2 now, and he has a chance.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Daniele's right there.
Yeah, I mean, he chose different tyres to Daniele. Daniele sprinted away from him. Now they're on equal machinery again. Now the cars are low on fuel. Everyone will have full ERS to spend after harvesting under the safety car, and we'll have ourselves a nice little sprint at the end. Now hopefully the 7 laps won't encourage drivers to go completely full send from the off, but I do tend to see this quite frequently in league races all around when we get a late safety car.
It is nice to see. I'm very excited for the battle between Stinson and Musso. Hopefully Musso doesn't go mad and make a 10-second gap like he did before, but hoping more of the first stint. I guess we'll see. Foxy in with a shout for the win, because I did predict him for it, and he is P3. Can't forget him. He's a very fast driver. He wants to be.
I'm keen to see whether Max can get himself up there on the podium on the soft tyres, whether the car will be handling a little bit better for him. Unfortunately, it looks like the safety car will go on by for another lap, so time for everybody to go ahead and like the video tonight, and even log on to Twitter and follow the various accounts that I posted at the start of the live chat. A reminder and a thank you to GT Omega Race Seats and Sim Racing Equipment, to Nelcott Hall Hotel, Golf and Country Club, and to Driver 61. Do check out Driver 61's website. Some great gaming tips to improve your on-track driving. And finally, gridfinder.com, where you can obviously find your space on the grid. I think the league uses the gridfinder.com entry system, which is quite handy for league racing as well. I believe they even let commentators put themselves up on gridfinder.com as well.
Isn't that nice?
Very nice indeed.
Who are you predicting to come out on top in this 6 lap sprint?
I can't see anybody but Daniele. I think Stinson will definitely have a go, but I just don't think anyone's got anything on Daniele here tonight. I think an outside shot, potentially Max for the podium, but yeah, it's very hard to see anybody beating Daniele tonight. The only thing is a little touch with battling, or possibly trying to stretch his advantage too much. I think it's his to lose.
It really is. He's done a very good job so far. See if he can hold on. And what will this restart be like?
Yeah, well, he's had one go at it, and he waited, and Stinson knows when he went as well, so Stinson will try not to let him have that opportunity again. There we go, press the accelerator, and it looks like Stinson is staying with him here. Looks like a good restart from Stinson. So will he have a go? Daniele feints to the inside. Further back, his teammate Burmeister launching one up the inside of Max. Burmeister with one of those typical restart laps for him. Really on it. Max tries to swipe across the front. Burmeister holds on. They just about survive that sequence, but that was pretty desperate stuff. And Max managing just about to consolidate that 5th place. It's very, very close up at the front. Foxy half a second back. Stinson 0.4 of a second back, as we try and have a nice clean 6-lap run to the end of the race.
Daniele used a lot of ERS on that run to turn 1 compared to Stinson. I think Daniele is on 60 and Stinson is on 85.
Everybody has a chance for fastest lap as well. At the end of this, it's equal opportunity for everyone to try and tackle that. Daniele currently has it with the 12.439.
Oh, already got nearly a second gap from Daniele. That is he got the fastest lap now. How did he do that? It's impressive.
Stinson gets it, and while he appears to have the gap opening up to Daniele ahead. So
no, Musso got it.
Did he?
Somehow, but like, it's a safety car restart, so he didn't have a good exit. But doesn't make any sense. Like, didn't have a good exit.
Thought for a moment it said Stinson, but no, absolutely right. Stinson though, fastest first sector. I think he's using this lap as his push lap.
Yep, he is catching up. Hopefully he can do it. Equal on the ERS now, so you can tell that he's pushing.
Yeah, fascinating to watch these two duking it out here. So it's a 6/10 improvement into the second sector, but not a purple second sector. So he needs a bit of a stormer in the last third of the track.
Martin and Burmeister are side by side, going into the final braking zone. Burmeister stays ahead, but Martin will have the slipstream.
Daniele gets a new fastest lap. just as Stinson was spending everything, Daniele monstered the final 2 sectors.
Oh my goodness, Speed Queen out the middle, there's a huge crash! And Martin and Burmeister squeezed Speed Queen, who is now spun around. I think there is damage for the Ferrari and
this
the
is one of those. This is one of those situations where drivers are just going full send. Burmeister and Livingwall colliding. Wow, yeah, absolute carnage in the midfield there. Speed Queen just about back up to racing speed. I saw her careering off. Livingwall touches the inside curb into Shivlak corner and spins round for possibly the 3rd time tonight. Livingwall now recovering. Speed Queen gets up to P9. Let's focus on the slightly higher quality driving at the front end of the grid. We've got Daniele leading by 1.7 seconds from Stinson. Same gap to Foxy. Then Tom, Max and Reshka. Well, Tom and Max at least, close behind them. Reshka, Martin, Burmeister, Speed Queen and Livingwall are your tail of the field. And it was all of those drivers that clashed or had to lift. And that's why Reshka's gap is 5 seconds to Max. So Tom with the sole penalty still.
This podium.
Yeah, huge tyre marks on the way into.
Because sometimes you do get a double warning, and
right.
Especially this track, there are a few places that you get double warnings. So I'm hoping that it's equal, because that'll make it more fun.
Yeah. Well, Max currently 3/10 behind Tom. Daniele is away at the head of the field, as we've seen before here. 2 laps to go now. Very few opportunities left. Speed Queen gets by Burmeister, and I wonder if there was an error there, because there was a bit of a gap between those 2 cars prior to that. But we have a 3-way battle for 3rd place on the grid, or on the road at least. Whether that becomes a 2-way battle after penalties, it remains to be seen. Tom has the best opportunity here he's had so far on Foxy. Foxy takes the middle of the track. Tom's going to go the long way round. Have good grip on the way out, but Foxy with brilliant track positioning.
Yeah, and he's got extra horsepower because he's got 50% ERS versus Tom in the 10s. And once you get below the 20% mark, you have a lot less horsepower, even if you use the overtake.
Yeah, well, there's no use holding on to it anymore. It's going to be everybody draining the battery at this stage now. Daniele leads 80%. From Stinson and Foxy. 18, did you say, or 80?
80.
Wow.
So he's going to send it on this last lap.
Yeah.
He might see a double move here.
That will be something special if we do. And I certainly hope we do. Daniele continuing to show everybody the way. That was close.
So close. Oh my God.
Max doing the patient thing here, just consolidating his gap, focusing on his exits. And now, what does he do? Is he just going to drain everything? He heads down the straight. Final lap now for these 3 drivers.
He sends it.
Max can't get the overlap. Just couldn't do it.
Oh no.
Just has to pile on the pressure now. He'll have another squirt of ERS left to spend on the way out of this corner. But that's about it now, unless he fancies a drag to the line. But it's not really a long enough opportunity to finish the lap off that way. Super close. There could be a mistake. Yeah.
Someone. But
you can see Tom is derating every straight. He's got nothing left at all.
He's still on the back of Foxy though. He's very close.
Daniele Martin, Speed Queen gets by Martin as well. So Speed Queen now up to P7. But Daniele looks to be finishing. He's in the final section of the race. Daniele now. Just check on the other drivers as they come out of Hugenholtz. No, they're not going to make a move. Daniele, pole position, fastest lap, and the win for Daniele Musso in the Netherlands. Stinson, a good home race for the Dutch driver in the Ferrari. P2. Foxy gets P3. Max promoted to P4 after Tom's penalty, who comes into P5 there for the AlphaTauri team. Reshka brings the Red Bull home in P6, and Speed Queen will go through in 7th place with a late race storm. Speed Queen, despite the spin, gets 7th place. Martin 8th, Livingwall 9th, and somehow or other Burmeister ended up down there in 10th place. Must have had an issue as he's limping the car to the line. Burmeister finishes the race last, but that's 10th place and a single championship point. So his we can actually see almost his legs through his cockpit, bizarrely.
Interesting.
For a moment
I'm going to mute you for a second as I invite our podium.
Yeah, no worries. Speed Queen getting driver of the day for the amount of places she's made up from the back of the grid. Daniele asking for a better crowd reaction from the Dutch fans. Our Italian driver, Daniele Musso, strengthening his gap at the lead of the championship. Daniele ruling the roost. The premier driver of IRL's F1 division, and surely he's now going to be our virtual champion at least. We'll give you the points update at the start of next week's race, but Daniele wins with the fastest lap and pole position from Stinson and Foxy. Max, Tom, Reshka, Speed Queen, Martin, Livingwall and Burmeister all score points tonight, but unfortunately we lost. Bambino after an impressive debut. Bambino racing under the Canadian flag. Then Matty, Doran, Liam, Totsi, Nathan, and Maggot was our first retiree. That's the end of our race, but stay with us because we're going to try and talk to our drivers. And as the drivers join the press conference, a little reminder that they need to make sure their broadcast audio setting is set to share, and then we will be able to hear them. I don't know if we will get our championship leader and race winner Daniele. We haven't heard from him yet. He has joined us once before with an interpreter because he's not very confident in his English, but I know for a fact that Stinson has joined us. Stinson, congratulations on a second place in your home Grand Prix, but I gather you were aiming higher than that.
Yeah, thanks. At the end I made a couple mistakes, but I've already heard that the wheel-to-wheel racing behind me and Daniela wasn't too great. And unfortunately, at 2 times it ruined my strategy.
Right.
Because
so what would you have preferred then?
No safety cars at all.
No safety cars around Zandvoort. Yep.
Yeah, Daniela was really struggling on his softs the first stint.
Yep.
And I was just saving tires, full battery behind him, waiting for him to pit and pounce to go onto the mediums.
Yep.
Well, that plan went out the window with the safety car lap 9. So yeah, I went to hards and I saw him go to mediums, and I thought he will never make it to the end. I figured he had to pit again. So I knew he was gonna get a big gap because the hards just aren't great. But I would figure that once he pitted, I would keep the lead, and then suddenly another safety car.
Yeah, they did come at the wrong time for you. They came at the most perfect time for at least the first one for Daniele. One of our audience said that he could get 23 laps out of mediums at the end of the race without them hitting 60%. So he thought Daniele had the correct strategy tonight, and maybe he did for his own driving style. But we'll never know until next time anyway, if we can get a no safety car run. But it's very rare, isn't it, to get 0 safety cars here in Zandvoort.
Yeah, it is. But
how did you feel about qualifying tonight, Stinson?
Not too great. I knew that especially me and Daniela could easily go into the 1.9s. And at the end, Daniela went for another lap on the softs.
Yeah.
So they were quite worn. And I made the choice of backing off and not doing another lap because I knew that worn tires won't be great in the race here. But yeah, P2 is good, but the time wasn't that great.
Any difficult moments? Any drama for you tonight?
Difficult moments? No, it was just a bit boring.
Difficult moments just watching Bernd Mailander come out at the wrong moment for you, but yeah, it's congratulations all the same. A first place followed by a second place. I'm sure a few weeks ago you would have taken that. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Thank you.
good points for the championship, and thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem.
Congrats to Stinson there for that second place. Don't think Lightning we're gonna see Daniele.
No, I don't think so. But
Okay.
we do have Foxy, so that's nice.
Excellent stuff, Foxy. Another podium for you.
Yeah, it's nice. It's becoming quite common.
It
I'm
is.
in these parties now. Yeah, it's nice.
Was that the only reason you're getting the podium so you can join us?
Yeah, honestly, that's the only reason why I'm Invictus, is so that at the end of the night I can hopefully speak to you guys.
Aww, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff tonight. How did that race run for you? Were you pleased with the progress?
Yeah, it was good. I made my way through the field, caught up to a Haas, followed him round, got past a couple of people, then the first VSC came out and it bunched everyone up again and we were all a bit mixed up. And yeah, it was good getting through those people, getting past the Haas again, and well, did I get past the Haas? I don't know. I think he ended up in the wall anyway, so...
He did.
Yeah,
I think he lost it through the banked Hugenholtz corner at turn 4.
Yeah. Brought out that safety car and it suited me brilliantly because I think the Max was behind and so was the AlphaTauri of Tom, and he was. They were both much quicker than me, so I think that safety car saved me at the end.
Yeah, but you held them off right to the end of the race. It looked like it was difficult, but how did you manage to keep them behind you?
Honestly, I'm just a really good driver. I think that's what it just came down to. I think when you're as good as I am, anything is possible. And so it wasn't battery or none of the battery. It was just me being really good.
Right. Got it.
You certainly
Okay.
are.
Did you enjoy? You enjoyed the evening's racing though, and did you have much company for your audio tonight this time?
I did. I don't know if they were popping up in the stream for you guys.
Well,
but
they said that you're gonna pit on lap 26 around then, for some reason. Is that true? Was that your plan?
I don't think
Before
so.
the safety car came out, because the safety car came out around that time as well. So we didn't get to see if that came true.
No, I didn't. I did not plan on pitting again. That would have been a bit silly.
Yeah,
maybe
they
just
were
winding you
giving
up,
us false information.
Yeah, I never
that's
quite
annoying.
know whether your mates are telling us something that I ought to read out on stream or not. So I'm a little bit hesitant too. We did hear from Charlie tonight, but I'm not sure anybody else contributed big time.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Congratulations. How are you feeling about the run to the end of the season? The races ahead of us.
Well, it's going to be good. I think Daniele's just in a league of his own at the moment, so it is more about a fight for whoever's going to get second. So if you want to just like focus on those two drivers, cough cough, me and Max, that'd be decent. But right, it's going to be a shame though, because I feel like I'm just going to get done over by the stewards. Like, I must have done something tonight. Like, there was a big pile up behind me, I noticed. That must have been my fault.
Was that your
stewards.
exhaust fumes causing them to spin or something?
Yeah, of course, must be. You know, there's got to be something, some rule I must have broken for me to be dropped off the podium. Because again, it happened last week, you know. But here we are. I'll take the P2, but until, like, I don't know, Sunday, I might be in P5, I don't know.
Well, the run we've got coming up. Go on. Yeah, carry on.
To be fair, last week I was a bit naughty, but you know.
But did you get removed from the podium?
Yes, I don't know where I finished, but yeah, it wasn't great. But you know, made the stewards' lives a bit easier, I guess.
Well, we've got the next 5 races. The final 5 races of our championship go to Monza, Portimao, Catalonia, Singapore, and Mexico City. Quite a mix of disciplines out there. Any favourites or ones that keep you up at night?
I tell you what, I love Singapore. I think that's going to be a good one.
Wow.
Maybe not for racing, but I do love the track. What was next week?
Monza.
Monza. Ah, that'll be fun, won't it? Seeing all
Yeah.
these descends into the first and second chicane. Although the curbs there are actually quite, awful. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good end to the season with those 5 races left. And yeah, I hope Daniele has a fun time out 30 seconds in front, just chilling, twiddling his thumbs away.
But currently lying third. You think second's on the cards for you now?
I'd like to get second, but yeah, I don't know. Max is most certainly the better driver, I'd say, but yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. If the stewards want to just, push me down, it's fine. I'm here for fun. So.
Well, for the in terms of being the better driver, it was definitely you tonight versus Max. So I'd take that at a pinch of salt and believe in yourself, Foxy, because I know you've got lots of fans there with you. Congratulations on another podium, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you after the race. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys.
Good stuff. Well, Lightning, any closing thoughts or drivers you want to point to for a particularly good race?
Not really. I appreciated all the driving,
Yeah.
especially the crashes are fantastic. I mean, I think the best part of the race was, I believe it was Burmeister and Martin were side by side, and then Speed Queen just goes up the middle magically, and then gets squeezed, and then there's a huge crash. So that was quite interesting.
Well, I'd love to see a replay of that from any of our drivers. If we can get a Speed Queen replay or something, that'd be pretty awesome.
So if Speed Queen doesn't, I might try and get mine.
Well, we can drop it in the comments of the race after it's published properly post stream. But yeah, we've had a cracking race. Another thank you to our sponsors, to GT Omega, Nelcut Hall, Driver 61, and Gridfinder.com, and we'll look forward to the final 5 races of the season. I'm not sure whether Daniele's won it just yet, but hopefully a home race coming up for him, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to consolidate or at least lift the trophy in Monza. A good evening spent watching the racing and enjoying everybody's company. Thanks a lot, Lightning, for the co-commentary. Thanks to everyone for running the league, for joining in on the chat, and for liking the video, of course. I've been Webbo. Lightning's been Lightning, and we will catch you on the next race day.